shopping, 2 days left to fill the stocking, 2 days left for Christmas shopping, only got 2 days more, only got 2 days more.
Hi there! Only 2 more shopping days till Christmas. If you haven't finished your shopping, then listen to this.
Shopgear.com.
The following is a presentation of the Gear Radio Network.
From Wherever We Decide Studios, broadcasted live on iTunes, Spreaker, and worldwide, this is the Turnbuckle Talk Radio Podcast with your hosts, the Crimson Cyclone himself, Cyclone Jones, and of course, the producer, Pat G. The G stands for Gangsta. And now kick back and get ready for the eargasms.
Ladies and gentlemen, you know me, I know you, we know each other. Cyclone Jones in the building. Back again, TTRP, baby. You know how we do it. Along with Pat G. The G stands for Gangsta. Pat G, tell them what it is.
Yes, it's another edition of the TTRP, Turnbuckle Talk Radio. We've had a little bit of a break in between episodes, but we're back because life is life.
Life is life indeed, Pat G. You know how we do. And ladies and gentlemen, if you do hear a difference in the voice, I am not live right now with Pat G in the studio. I am off-site taking care of some personal matters, some business matters, should I say, that you may see soon. Hopefully, if everything goes right, we'll let you know how that goes. Or you may just see it on your own. But ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us. Turnbuckle Talk Radio Podcast. Back again, along with all of the information that you're dying to hear from my voice and Pat G's voice. Mine is the orgasmic voice, though. Pat G's is the meh. I don't know about it, but we'll see what it is. Pat G, what's going on?
Well, not much is going on, but of course we are brought to you by the Gear Network and of course ShopGear.com, leading up to the last-minute Christmas purchases, because that's how, you know what you got to do for them Christmas purchases.
Listen, Christmas, man, it's the most wonderful time of the year. But again, definitely shop at Amazon.com. Definitely click on the link through Turnbuckle Talk Radio Podcast, through the Gear Network. Get to your Amazon Prime. Get those gifts. And definitely give a kickback to Turnbuckle Talk Radio Podcast so we can stay on and continue to do these great shows for, you know what it is, Pat G. It's the eargasms.
Yes, and it's the eargasms this holiday season, as this is the Christmas episode of the TTRP, bringing you all the holiday joy of the professional wrestling world.
Yes, indeed. So, of course, without further ado, let's go into that big TTRP Santa bag and bring out the first topic. TNA Impact Wrestling is changing another channel again. They're going to a different channel.
Yes, they are. It is the third channel change since 2014 when they left Spike TV.
Did they really leave Spike TV, or did Spike say, all right, you got to go?
That's true.
I think it was Spike said you got to go because you're not pulling in what you wanted to pull in.
Yeah, Spike kind of was changing that network a little bit, so they didn't see them fit the picture any longer.
Where did they go after Spike? I can't remember.
They went to Destination America, I believe.
That is right. They went to Destination America. Then they went to Pop.
Yep, and then went to Pop TV, and now they're going to a channel called the Pursuit Network.
Which is interesting, because after they posted it on Twitter, the fans went to the Twitter lines and immediately said, what the hell is the Pursuit Network? Nobody knows what it is. One fan even commented and tagged Spectrum TV, Spectrum Cable, should I say,
yes,
in on it. And Spectrum Cable actually answered. And they said, we're sorry, we don't have this channel. if you'd like to get this channel, you can definitely go onto our website and click on it and kind of do like a petition to get this channel on, which a lot of people aren't going to do. They're just going to say forget it and not watch TNA. It kind of hurts TNA's climb that they were doing.
It hurts TNA a lot because unless they plan on doing something along the lines of what MLW does and do their shows like via YouTube or another streaming service, that their product's not going to be seen by a lot of eyes right now.
No, not at all. I mean, at this moment in time, they are in Canada. They are based in Canada now.
They are.
And with that, they do have the Canadian base. So I'm pretty positive if they're going to be a Canadian channel or they're going to be in Canada, I'm pretty sure Pursuit is in Canada.
Well, Pursuit is in Canada because Pursuit Network is owned by Anthem Media, and Anthem Media owns Impact Wrestling. So, what at 2 and 2 together equals 4. So, I'm assuming that it's in Canada.
Well, I'm glad you can do math, Patrick. I'm glad to see that. You know 2 + 2 is 4. But with 2 + 4 equals 4, how does Impact Wrestling and Anthem equal ratings? That's the question that I'm asking. Because with Anthem not being known, Anthem not being on Spectrum, Anthem not being on, or not Anthem, I'm sorry. What's the name of the company again?
Pursuit.
Pursuit not being on Spectrum, Pursuit not being on Fios. It's not a popular station. How do they expect to get ratings? And I can understand it may be a financial thing because it's better that Anthem owns the company, so they don't have to pay that much.
Yes.
However, how do you get ratings out of that? How do you make money from that?
This is true. And the thing is, it's a financially beneficial move for Impact because their deal with Pop, they were working on a barter system at first with their merchandising and everything.
Mm-hmm.
And then, which they got like $1 million or something, and then on top of something else, which was like $1.2 million, or whatever. And Pop TV is going into a rebranding in 2019, and Impact did not fit into their plans.
See, that's the issue.
Yes.
So, I mean, I don't know. I honestly don't know how they're going to have this change turn into money.
Yep.
I don't. You know, I hope that they do, because with the young talent that they have on this roster, it's something to see, and it would be very hard missed if they fell short of this.
Oh, absolutely.
You know.
Well,
so I don't know. We'll see.
I guess with Pop TV's rebranding, it felt like Impact was going to be sticking out like a sore thumb, so to speak.
Mm-hmm.
So it felt like moving out and maintaining a good relationship was the smarter move. The new deal, which is going to be with Pursuit, is expected to see the viewership shrink, and there are some who are not happy about it. But with Anthem being a partial owner in Pursuit, there has been some interest from the channel in carrying over other Impact Wrestling programming, such as Explosion and or a Best of series. The move gives them more flexibility and leeway for possible moves to other time slots. Pursuit's officials are said to be happy to have Impact added to their channel, which Pursuit Networks is a outdoors channel. They show a lot of fishing and hunting. So, it's a guy's channel for the people that do have it. But it's one of the things of like...
I mean, true, it is a guy's channel, but how many guys know about the channel?
True. Especially in this day and age where most people either have Spectrum or Fios or Dish Network or DirecTV, and like the fishing and hunting channels are usually like Discovery Channel.
Mm-hmm.
Or the Nature Channel, or National Geographic. Those are like mainstream known channels. The Pursuit networks aren't really known.
Nope, they are not.
And as you mentioned it earlier, someone mentioned it on Twitter, and Spectrum's like, "Yeah, we don't have that channel."
Yeah, Spectrum clearly said that we don't have that channel.
So
and if you want it, you can go on to our website and petition to get it. So we can look into it.
And then that'll lead to the scene in South Park where the cable companies essentially like touching themselves over the fact that they're not helping you.
Yeah. I don't know. I can't call it, man.
But
I can't.
It's the thing of it's going to hurt ratings. And in this day and age where ratings have kind of like gone to the wayside to a little bit because of how much money pro wrestling does make via their TV deals, whether you're an ROH, whether you're an MLW, whether you're a New Japan. But the ratings are key. And speaking of the ratings, the mainstay, so to speak, the top of the mountain, WWE, has finally admitted that their ratings haven't been so good, and they know that. Finally. Even though they admitted it through a storyline aspect, but they finally admitted that they need to make changes, and changes will be had. But I do love the timing of it.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you look at the timing of it, it is the last 2 weeks of December. It is the Christmas holiday and, of course, the New Year. And WWE pretty much doesn't do anything live. Everything is pre-taped.
Yep.
And it's kind of like the, so to speak, like throwaway shows of the year because it's the last 2 weeks, everybody's holiday, before coming back in the new year and starting that oh-so-lovely time of the build to the Royal Rumble and the road to WrestleMania.
Road to WrestleMania.
Well,
yeah.
Speaking of the WWE,
yes,
this past Monday, the Vince McMahon, the chairman, the owner, returned to Monday Night Raw, along with...
Do you know why?
Along with Stephanie.
Well, do you know why he returned?
Yes.
Because there's no chance in hell.
That's true. There is no chance in hell. He also came with Stephanie, Triple H, and Shane McMahon. And while it was nice to see all four of them in the ring together, not bickering and squabbling like the McMahon family does, they basically came out and said that, yes, the show has sucked. We understand this. Things need to be held accountable and everything. And they kind of put the blame towards Baron Corbin. Not gonna lie, Baron Corbin has not been the greatest in the world. But
yeah, Corbin was horrible.
At the end of the day, it's not really like they had to make somebody a scapegoat, so to speak.
Mm-hmm.
But at the end of the day, it seems like they have finally decided to put the responsibility of making the show better on everyone.
Which they should have done, because everyone plays a part. The thing is, like, let's take the Becky Lynch thing, for instance.
Okay. Becky
Lynch has been doing her thing since she's been on that roster. But they keep handing everything to Charlotte.
Yep.
Now Becky is finally in her own little niche, and she's doing her own thing. She's giving everybody what the hell they want.
Quote unquote found her voice.
Hmm?
She's quote unquote found her voice.
Exactly. So with that being said, it's on Becky. Becky's holding her weight. Everybody else should hold their weight as well. They shouldn't be restricted to what the storyline is, because that's what these stupid writers are doing. Because that's what it is. Like, the writers are doing this, man. I don't know. But it's something where WWE needs to understand that and give some kind of leeway, because they did it with The Rock, and look what happened. They did it during Attitude Era. Attitude Era, people followed storylines, but they gave them the leeway or the freedom to kind of tweak it a little bit.
There was the Attitude Era, and there's so many people that like, oh, we need to go back to the Attitude Era. No. The Attitude Era was a lightning caught in a bucket because you had two companies literally wanting to be number one. And and the thing is WWE didn't change until they literally had to, because they couldn't afford anything anymore. They had to change.
Mm-hmm.
And the big thing with the Attitude Era, and I'm gonna say this only because I've kind of been rewatching the Attitude Era, like from both sides, WCW and Monday Night Raw. While there were a lot of good things, yes, you had The Rock, you had Steve Austin, you had Triple H, you had the NWO. A lot of it sucks. Watching it when it happened in 96 and 97 and being 13 and 14 years old and whatnot, at the time, yeah, it was cool and everything. Watching it now as an adult and 35 years old and knowing more things now about wrestling than I did then. God, the Attitude Era, like 90% of it sucked.
Yeah.
Like, legitimately, I'm sorry. Yes, it was a great era, a great time in wrestling because of the ratings. But if you watch it now, 90% of it sucks.
Yep.
There's 10% that is good, but the other 90 just is horrible.
Yeah.
And this is the thing is, yes, WWE, Vince McMahon, and they came out, there's going to be changes, and the fans are going to be the new authority. Don't lie to us. Because there's a lot of people out there, the internet wrestling community, that knows at the end of the day, the buck stops with Vince McMahon.
I mean, my thing is, how can they make the IWC the authority anyway? You got people out here, saying this and saying that, or, questioning this, questioning that, or proposing this, proposing that, and it's all stupid stuff, So how can you actually make the IWC,
or the WWE Universe? So
I'm sorry, yes, the WWE Universe.
Yeah.
How can you make them the authority? What are you going to take ideas from people on the internet just from what they're stating? No, of course not. So it's hard to actually believe what they're saying.
Like, it's the thing is, Raw, if you look at WWE as a whole right now, Raw, so to speak, has been the black eye. Because on SmackDown, you have AJ Styles, you have Daniel Bryan, you have Becky Lynch, and more. NXT UK is that British strong style. 205 Live, it's Mustafa Ali, it's Buddy Murphy, it's Cedric Alexander, the other cruiserweights. NXT, it's a lot of different people. And then you have Monday Night Raw, which it feels the last few months of Monday Night Raw has just felt like it's existing to fulfill the TV contracts.
Mm-hmm.
You have to admire WWE for making so much money off the show with with the ratings dropping like they have, along with the quality and interest. But when you're running the same formulaic thing of Monday Night Raw, it gets old and boring. Because if you look at Monday Night Raw, it always starts off with a super long talking segment that rarely ever accomplishes anything.
Right.
A lot of the wrestling cannot be the greatest in the world, and the thing is nothing against who they push and everything, but a lot of people have finally realized how bad Nia Jax is in the ring.
Yeah,
along with Tamina.
Tamina's horrible. I mean, I'm just gonna call it a spade a spade. After she got her surgery, she got horrible. She put weight on. You can tell she's walking funny.
Yeah.
You know, like last night I was watching Tribute to the Troops, and she walked to the ring, and you can immediately tell that she's just walking like her body is not where it used to be.
Yeah.
You know, and it's sad, you know, but they're still pushing her. She's a big girl, you know.
Well, it's the same thing with Nia Jax. Nia Jax has got that whole body positivity thing going, and because she's a bigger woman. But a lot of people are going, well, they're only in those spots because of who they're related to.
Yep.
But this is the thing, is like, I don't know. It's one of the things of like, this past Monday night was actually kind of refreshing because for the first time in like forever and a day, the quote-unquote faces actually got over.
Mm.
You saw Finn Balor pick up a victory. You saw them essentially run the thing of, okay, Baron Corbin, the hated heel, finally got his ass beating. Even though he got it the night before on Survivor Series or TLC. But the thing is with the fallout from TLC, now comes the end of the year, and of course the new year in January, you no longer will have Monday Night Football. You start the Royal Rumble. And that's always going to be a ratings booster. But it's the thing of, you know what? Vince said, okay, the fans are the new authority, or Triple H said it. That's cool and all, but when your talent's not producing, what do you expect is going to happen? People are going to get bored and turn it off.
Mm-hmm.
And yes, they announced all the NXT call-ups. Okay. Let's look at them. You have Lars Sullivan, who...
Yep.
From the minute you seen Lars Sullivan in NXT, you knew was going to be something big. Just by the way he acted, the way he looked, and everything.
Exactly.
And from what it says is they're going to give him all the opportunities in the world to succeed. All right, cool. That's fine. Heavy Machinery, which is another tag team. That's great. But your tag team division hasn't really been a focus in a long time because what your tag team titles on Raw were given to two members of the Shield to start one turning and lead to a feud. Mm-hmm. Then the guys you put the tag titles on legitimately was a piss in the bucket. That if you look on SmackDown, the tag team titles have been rotated between 3 teams over the last 9 months.
Right.
And that's it. Like, that's it. Like, it's been the Bar, the Usos, and New Day. On repeat.
Yep.
On repeat.
I mean, but what other tag teams do SmackDown have?
I don't even know.
Exactly.
I don't even know. I know Raw has the Revival and Lucha House Party with their ridiculous dumbass rules.
Yeah.
Which if you look at, even if you go back on Raw a few weeks and look at that, like in the traditional sense, yes, the Revival are the heels, but once they get in the match, they're wrestling as the faces. Because the Lucha House Party has all these ridiculous rules.
Mm-hmm.
And everything. But the thing is, okay, Heavy Machinery, and they're hell of an act, especially because they're two bigger dudes.
Yep.
Then you have Lacey Evans, which right there, Lacey Evans is like ready for the WWE, ready for the main roster because of she can wrestle, she can talk, she has the built-in gimmick because she was a Marine.
Mm-hmm.
She was in the Marines, and so you can go with that. And then you have Nikki Cross, who already has that built-in history with Sanity, but she also can be on her own as well.
Right.
And then you have EC3, who the minute you saw EC3 in the crowd at NXT, you knew he wasn't going to be in NXT very long.
Right. I mean, and the thing is with EC3 though, he was already there, just like Luke Gallows.
He was.
You know what I'm saying? Just like Luke Gallows, just like
Drew McIntyre.
Luke Gallows, Drew McIntyre, I meant Drew McIntyre. I just saw him on the picture. Drew McIntyre, just like who else? I can't remember who else was in 3MB. What was his name again?
Jinder Mahal.
Jinder Mahal. I don't know why I keep forgetting names, but Jinder Mahal, these guys left, reinvented themselves, and came back with a vengeance. That's what EC3 did exactly. He left, or they let him go, because he was in NXT before.
Yep.
Reinvented himself.
Kind of found himself and made himself marketable.
Exactly. So yes, those are the guys that they're going to definitely put the weight on. Because right now, McIntyre is getting ready to be heavyweight champion. He's about to do a run. There's no way in hell they're not going to give him the title.
You know what, Mac? A lot of people have said that they want Seth Rollins to be the face of the company, especially because what Seth Rollins has been doing lately.
Right.
But that's the thing. Like, a lot of people are talking McIntyre. McIntyre is going to get the strap at some point.
Right.
I personally, before we head to break, I see Strowman, and we'll get into that. I see Strowman winning the title when he does have his opportunity.
Right.
And then McIntyre winning the Rumble. And then Strowman losing the title at Mania. Because I feel like he'll hold on to it through Elimination Chamber, but he'll lose it at Mania.
I think so as well. And that's the thing, like, you want to find out...
Mania is always that...
how long...
Yeah, Mania is always that reset.
Right, but you want to find out how long Brock's contract is for. You know what I'm saying? Like, is it to Mania? Because I'm pretty sure it is to Mania.
I don't know.
And that's the thing. You want to find out when... Because that's where it's all contingent at. Because right now they're putting the freaking title on Brock again. Because Roman was done.
Yeah, Roman
because he had to leave.
Yeah.
Because I honestly don't believe they were going to bring Brock back. My personal opinion. I don't think they were.
Well, from what I've read, Roman leaving with his battle of leukemia threw everything out of whack.
Exactly.
Like it legitimate. Like they had everything was planned for like up until Mania pretty much, and then when that news and announcement came to a head, Like, they started shuffling.
They had to. They had to. They had nothing else to do. Like, there was a huge, big semi-truck monkey wrench thrown into the machine.
Yep.
They had to make a whole new machine.
Pretty much. They had to find the monkey wrench, take it out, and then put it, and then order new parts.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, with that being said, what we'll do is we'll pick this back up after break.
Yes.
Let's pay some bills.
Get some talks from the sponsors and all that, and of course Amazon.
Exactly.
So get some last minute purchases for Christmas.
You better do it now. Shoot. All right. So we'll be back with more Turnbuckle Talk Radio podcast.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is Cyclone Jones, and I am with Pat G. The G stands for gangster. And remember, the TTRP is sponsored by the Gear Network store through Amazon. If you visit shopgear.com, it's a little bit different. That's shop, GERE.com, and click on any of the banners. It will take you right to your account, and you can do all your Amazon shopping there.
When you shop Amazon and Amazon Prime, but Amazon kicks back a small percentage of your purchases back to us here at the Gear Network, so we can continue to bring you the great program that you've come to know and love, like the TTRP Turnbuckle Talk Radio podcast, Better Live Than Dead, the FTW podcast, the JC Money Show, and Trust the Podcast from the Gear Network. So that's shopgear.com, SHOPGERE.com for all your Amazon and Amazon Prime purchases from us here at the Gear Network.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Turnbuckle Talk Radio podcast. Pat G, the G stands for gangster. Cyclone Jones in the building. And Pat, we were talking about WWE before we took the break.
We were.
Let's continue that conversation, and let's go into tables, ladders, and chairs. Oh my.
Yes. Well, the TLC event for 2018, the last WWE pay-per-view of the year, in your opening match, which was on the pre-show, saw the WWE Cruiserweight Championship match, your champion Buddy Murphy defeating Cedric Alexander in about 10.5 minutes via the pinfall. This match, definitely for the crowd that was there, was a very good starter. It was both guys delivering as they have for all of 2018. They delivered another banger, and while it sucks that they were on the kickoff show, they killed it, and the crowd was into it, and it kind of falls into the line of that old WCW mentality of put your hot opener on first, which is the Cruiserweights.
Mm-hmm. Right. I mean, but the thing is, that's what you do. You get the fire started early. Once you get the fire started, then you can kind of cool the fire down and bring the fire back up. You don't want the fire to be burning the whole entire show and then it fizzles out at the end.
This is true. So
you want to get the fire started, like, oh my gosh, that was a great match. I can't wait for the show. Then you get your ups and your downs, like a roller coaster.
Yep.
So with that match being the first match, and it was a good match, that's amazing. That's great for WWE, I think.
It was. And then, like you said, you get your ups and downs. And the other match on the pre-show was a down. The ladder match.
So before we go any further with that,
yeah.
Are you going to do your new thing that you got going on?
I will get there. I will get there.
Okay, cool beans.
The next match was a down. It was a ladder match with Elias taking on Bobby Lashley and a guitar hanging above the ring.
That kind of got me.
And And the thing was, it wasn't when I saw it, I was kind of like, oh, okay, climb the ladder, get the guitar. Guy who uses guitar first wins match. No. Just climb the ladder and grab the guitar and you win. At that point, I was just like, nope, I'm done. Elias did win, but unfortunately did not walk out because he got hit with the guitar and frog splashed. Which because, and at the end of the day, the result didn't matter. It didn't. Elias's win didn't matter. He got his ass beat.
So it was basically a guitar in the bake match.
Yep. Pretty much. Your opening contest for the TLC event was the Mixed Match Challenge Season 2 Finals. Alicia, which is Jinder Mahal and Alicia Fox, versus the Awesome Truth of R-Truth and Carmella. The winners get an all-expense paid vacation, as well as the number 30 spot in their Royal Rumble match. This saw R-Truth and Carmella picking up the victory. And I'm going to say this, at least Mixed Match Challenge Season 1 was worth something. Mixed Match Season 2 was more just about the fun in character, so to speak.
Right.
Which
I can see that.
Which I love R-Truth, I do. But if anybody honestly think he's going to come out number 30, you got another thing coming. Because I honestly, one of two things is going to happen for R-Truth. He's either going to come out, be confused, and come out number 29 in the men's Royal Rumble, or he's going to come out number 30 in the women's Royal Rumble.
That would be funny. Which
would be hilarious. But I feel like that's what's going to happen. Like the match, the match was what it was. It seems like for all the drive that Jinder Mahal had when he came back and got the title run, he now just doesn't have it anymore. He's just going through the motions.
Why? Because he knew that they only used him to get the Saudi Arabia deal.
Yep.
That's it.
Pretty much. To get over to the Middle East and Saudi Arabia and India. That's it. Up next was the SmackDown Tag Team Championship match 967 featuring The Bar, the Usos, and New Day. These teams just work. Like, these teams just work. Like, they do. Like, any combination of these three teams just work. The Bar do retain the titles as any combination of these three teams continue to deliver each and every time out. Plain and simple.
Yeah.
Then up next was a TLC match. Braun Strowman taking on Baron Corbin. If Corbin wins, he becomes the full-time permanent GM Raw. If he loses, he's out of a job. Heath Slater, who is the referee, was out. Corbin comes out, runs his mouth, yada, yada, yada. They start a 10 count. Strowman music hits while the count is 7. Now, let me ask you a question.
Yep.
If you have a 10 count, and the only way to break said 10 count is a man, like, going in and out of the ring, why would someone's music, like, break a 10 count?
Because that's his entrance to come out. Because
okay.
The match didn't start yet. It was the 10 count to come out, or the match.
No, the match had started. They had rung the bell.
But they can't start the match unless he comes out.
Oh, well, WWE logic.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, that doesn't make any sense to start a match and both opponents haven't been in the ring.
Well, they rang the bell and started the 10 count.
Right. I mean, and they started the 10 count because he was the general manager, I believe.
Yeah.
And that's what they were going with. Oh, he's the general manager. He can start the match now. But because the music started,
yes,
he's coming to the ring, and the match is officially going to start. So I think that was stupid. I think they messed that up. That's why they stopped the 10 count.
Yeah. Well, Strowman comes out, gets on the microphone, and says there are no rules, no DQs in the TLC match. So if someone wanted to help him, they could.
Yep.
All of a sudden, you see Apollo Crews with a chair, then Bobby Roode and Chad Gale pop up with chairs, and then Finn Balor appears with another chair. Slater takes off his ref shirt, pops Corbin in the mouth. All of them proceed to beat the living hell out of Corbin. And Corbin tries to escape, but Kurt Angle's there to stop that nonsense. Everyone attacks with chair shots, and then they hit a finisher buffet on Corbin like Jimmy King being killed and ready to rumble.
Okay.
That's what the recap guy has in the description. So when I read that, I popped. Slater puts Slater puts the ref shirt back on. Strowman puts a foot on Corbin and gets the 1, 2, 3. So that is the end of Baron Corbin. Up next was the tables match, which I felt was only happening. Like, I felt the whole thing with Natalia's dad being like the main reason for it, kind of like in distaste, so to speak. But it was funny to see the tables with the figures.
Yeah.
That kind of entertained me. It was like, oh, look, we got fat heads, and let's put them on tables.
Yeah, that's exactly what they did.
Yeah. The match was solid, but it was just long and everything. It was like, and at this point, it's like, what do you do with the Riot Squad? Because they essentially lost to Natalya. Like,
okay, but
I understand the thing about TLC and what they were going with. Like, it was all the faces win, pretty much.
No. I'm looking at it from a standpoint of just that match. She's defending her father's honor.
Okay.
She's a pro wrestler, so she's a badass.
Yeah.
Her father was a pro wrestler. He's a badass.
He was a badass.
And this other wrestler is disrespecting my father completely.
Okay.
She's whooping ass.
I can see that.
She's whooping ass.
Because she beat all of them.
Yeah, exactly. You know? And that's what it is. She's gonna whoop their ass. So I can understand that and see that.
Yep. Up next was Finn Balor taking on Drew McIntyre. Finn Balor picks up the victory due to outside nefarious tactics by Dolph Ziggler.
Outside nefarious tactics. Now remember, Dolph is not a good guy.
He's not.
But he's not the bad guy either.
No, he's not.
Dolph is riding the line of being Dolph.
Yep, because what was funny about this is Dolph gets involved in this match, causes McIntyre the victory, but then Balor and Ziggler got into it backstage after the match.
Mm-hmm.
Which led to them having a match announced for Raw the next night.
Yeah.
Up next was the chairs match. Randy Orton versus Rey Mysterio, taking you back to 2006 with their feud. It was Mysterio picks up the victory. Yeah, he gets some revenge, but it's I'm not sure why. Like, I understand why they brought back Mysterio because Mysterio brings ratings and fans and everything. But
I'm not a fan of Mysterio anymore.
I don't think he works anymore.
No.
He's not what Rey Mysterio used to be.
Yeah. He isn't.
And granted, yeah, Randy Orton actually seems motivated this year, but I think that's due to the fact that he's running a very light schedule.
Orton is?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see that.
Like, Orton's like, he'll work TV when he needs to work TV, he'll work pay-per-views, but from what I understand, he really doesn't work a lot of live events.
Yeah. Now, is Orton still dating JoJo?
No. Bray Wyatt was with JoJo.
Bray Wyatt was with JoJo. That is right. Okay.
Yeah. Bray Wyatt, like, had an affair with JoJo, essentially.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Bray Wyatt was with JoJo, but Bray Wyatt was married when he got with JoJo.
Oh, well, all right then.
Little side knowledge for you.
Yeah, well, thank you, because I didn't know that.
Yeah.
So,
up next was the Raw Women's Championship match. Ronda Rousey versus Nia Jax. Ronda Rousey has impressed left and right from day one. And the fact that she actually pulled a decent match with a good layout and everything with Nia Jax is great on her end.
mm-hmm.
Granted, yeah, Nia Jax held up her end of the deal, but it's Nia Jax.
Yeah.
Then
I don't know. I mean, to be a fan of Nia Jax is kind of hard now.
It is.
Because I believe that she's getting lackadaisical.
Yep.
You know, like she knows she's a big girl, and she's playing the big girl role.
And she's The Rock's cousin.
Yeah. So I mean, maybe I'm wrong. You know, I don't know, but that's what I think.
Yeah. Up next was the WWE Championship match: Daniel Bryan versus AJ Styles. Of course, this was a hell of a match because these two can do no wrong. And Daniel Bryan retains with bringing back Mr. Small Package.
Of course. How can you not win with a small package? I mean, that sounded real nasty, didn't it? That sounded sexual.
It did.
Yeah. I mean, well you said small package. You brought it up.
The quote-unquote dud of the night, the jeer of the night, was the IC title match between Seth Rollins and Dean Ambrose.
Okay.
Now, shockingly, a match involving Seth Rollins, like, you normally don't think that would be a dud/jeer.
Mm-hmm.
But the crowd wasn't into it. They had a wrestling match instead of a brawl because they spent weeks making it personal. Ambrose blew up the Shield. Did it on the night that Reigns announced his leukemia diagnosis. They even brought that into the feud a few times.
Yep. And that's the thing. They should have had a street fight style match. You know. However, they went into a wrestling match.
They did a wrestling match.
Yep.
They worked the wrong kind of match. The fans wanted a brawl. They wanted to feel the hatred. They wanted to just see those two tear each other apart, and they just had a wrestling match.
Yep.
And it killed the crowd. It killed the crowd. It did. But then the main event, the cheer of the night, of course, the SmackDown Women's Champions TLC match. Becky Lynch taking on Asuka, taking on Charlotte. And all three of these women went straight out, balls to the wall, impressive, and crazy. Charlotte brought out the best of her talent and ability in all senses. All three women played the roles extremely well and everything. The match kind of progressed everyone along, and in the end, Charlotte and Becky are on the ladder fighting for the championship. Out comes Ronda Rousey, and in the probably dumbest moment of the match, tips the ladder over. Charlotte, Becky tumble, allows Asuka to climb the ladder, grab the title belt. It was one of the things of like, all right, we understand what you're doing. You're extending the Ronda, Charlotte, Becky dynamic, and now you're putting the title on Asuka, which freshens and opens things up on the SmackDown side as far as the title.
Right.
But it's one of the things of like, I felt like it would have been better if Ronda came out and grabbed a kendo stick and took a kendo stick to both Charlotte and Becky.
Yeah.
Instead of just shoving the ladder over and them two hitting the ropes and tumbling out.
Yeah, I mean, and they're trying to get that feud going for Ronda, so she actually has something, going forward once they pull the title off of her. But I mean, I don't know. I don't think it was time to pull the title off of Becky just yet.
You know what? I don't think either, but with them going into the Royal Rumble, I can see Becky winning the Rumble and making the switch to Raw.
Okay.
But speaking of the Women's Championship match, this past week, it was announced on WWE Main Event that Becky Lynch will face Asuka in her rematch clause, so to speak. But now WWE's kind of going back on it. It was because they haven't fully decided on if that match is going to take place. Despite announcing the match on this week's WWE Main Event, the company has now pulled the match from the card, for now at least. Paige is taking the fall in character for the early reveal, posting to her Twitter account to say that she tried to make one last match as GM of SmackDown, but that the match isn't official for the pay-per-view. Her post was this: so I tried to make one last match before my time as SD Live GM came to an end, but unfortunately Becky Lynch versus Asuka for the SmackDown Women's Championship is not official for Royal Rumble. #oops.
Wow.
So essentially what it is on your pre-taped program on your network, you make an announcement that for this title match. Now all of a sudden when you realize, we don't know if we're going to do that. Oh, we need someone to blame. You blame the person that has been taken out of power.
I mean, of course, why not?
Makes sense.
Yeah.
It does.
Why not?
But that's it for the WWE. We're going to touch on the local scene to finish up here, as ESW, Empire State Wrestling, has been making major moves of late, especially in 2018.
Listen, 2019 is going to be amazing for independent wrestling. There's a lot of guys out here, a lot of young kids out here, man, who they're doing extraordinary things. For instance, the Buffalo Boys. The Buffalo Boys are out here making moves, man. And if you don't know who the Buffalo Boys are, let me introduce them to you. The Buffalo Boys are Kevin Bennett, Puff, Daniel Garcia, and Blackwood. You know, these 4 guys are doing amazing things, and they all come out of Grapplers Anonymous. You know, so I mean, it's something where you just have to watch them. If you don't watch them, you're an idiot. Period. That's it. That's all I got to say.
Yep, absolutely. And the thing is their last event, ESW, I was not there.
I was.
You were. And from what I've been told and understand is Daniel Garcia and Brandon Thurston had a hell of a match.
Well, they ended the match. It was
their end of set of the Iliad Apollo Cup match was amazing.
Mm-hmm.
From what I've heard.
I mean, it was. I mean, it was the Iliad Apollo Cup match where the opponents get into the match. You know, it's an elimination style match. But the last 2 opponents were Daniel Garcia and Brandon Thurston. And I swear to you, this young kid, Daniel Garcia, put everything on the line. And I swear, this kid, I love this kid. He is amazing in the ring. Amazing. You know, and this match was it was teacher versus student. And the student brought it to the damn teacher. Like, smack me in the face and smacking you back even harder.
Yep.
They went at it.
Well, those 2 are going at it again. January 19th at a night at the Johnsburg. In a full match. 1-on-1. Yep. It's going to be that, and just from your simple explanation right there, it's going to be a hell of a match.
Mm-hmm.
Also, you're going to see big time Bill Collier, as he's I think he's going to try to focus back on getting back into the ESW picture after vanquishing the destroyer of everything, Big TK, Terrell Kenneth.
Mm-hmm.
Then also another match that they announced for January 19th. 2 young guys, Kevin Blackwood, of course, one of the men you mentioned as far as the Buffalo Brothers. He's going to take on Atticus Cogar.
Listen, you didn't mention the most important match of the night.
Well, I was getting to that, but I figured I'd give that honor to you.
You didn't announce the match of the night. My baby, my honey, my love. I love this woman. I will be at that show. I will introduce myself. Hello. My name is Domingo Montoya. You are a beautiful woman. Prepare for me to marry you. Victoria will be at this show, dude.
Yep.
Victoria.
Yes.
WWE Women's Champion, you know, part of the Attitude Era, like, amazing. Like, a dude, really? I'm so mad that her restaurant, she closed her restaurant down. She had a restaurant in Chicago.
Yep, called
to go check the restaurant out. But she closed it down, you know, she, decided to close it up.
Yep.
But I'm definitely, and The Rock means definitely, will be there for that show.
Well, she's going to be taking on Allie.
Yeah, I don't even care who she's taking on. I'm going to see her.
You're just going to see her.
Yeah.
Well, also, as you said, ESW is going to be big in 2019 because they are heading to Rochester.
They are. That's amazing. However, they are stepping on some toes. We're not going to really go any further with that, but
not yet. Not yet. We might touch on that in the upcoming weeks, but but not right now. ESW is expanding. They've recently they're on their own podcast, which is based about ESW.
Yep.
They talked with the owner and operator Brett Mednick, Brett Simus, who owns ESW, as to their expansion, so to speak, of New York. Working like their expansion to Jamestown and Olean and now Rochester, and kind of quote unquote becoming that premier independent promotion in New York State.
Yeah. You see, the thing is though, and right now with ESW, they are going to overload this show. They know they're going into new territory, and it's going to be amazing. But they've already announced a tag team that's going to be at this show.
They have.
And it is the Butcher and the Mother Blade.
Yep.
Like, this is going to be amazing.
Pepper Parks
like,
and
that
Andy
tag
Williams.
team is just phenomenal.
That tag team is phenomenal. I've seen some of their stuff from Smash. That tag team is phenomenal.
Yeah, phenomenal. So, with that being said, you definitely want to get out to that show. JC Money is already promoting the show.
Everybody's been everybody since the announcement happened. Everybody is promoting ESW coming to Rochester. I've seen JC Money. I've seen Big Cat Lemmer. I've seen numerous other people like sharing it and promoting it. Mm-hmm. Like, this is a big time deal in the Western New York independent wrestling scene.
It is. It is. I mean, it's definitely a good time to be in the pro wrestling business. Definitely. But that's how we do things, ladies and gentlemen. Anything else you want to throw out there, Pat G?
Nope, that's it. It's a wrap.
All right. Well, I mean, ladies and gentlemen, you know how we do things. Turnbuckle Talk Radio Podcast for Pat G. The G stands for Gangster. I am Cyclone Jones. Ladies and gentlemen, we will see you at the beginning of the year, unless Pat G sees you again this year. I don't know. We'll definitely check that one out as well. But anyway, until we meet again, Cyclone!
The preceding presentation has been brought to you by the Gear Network.